All right, Browns fans, let's get into this big roster move because Cleveland is making some serious decisions about their defense. But before we get into the details, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a single update about your team. We have a lot of ground to cover here, but right now let's start by talking about Devin Bush, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, and what this means for the Browns in 2025. The Browns have officially re-signed linebacker Devin Bush to a one-year, $3.25 million contract. It's a solid raise from the $1.5 million he made last season and shows the team sees value in bringing him back. But here's the real question. Is this the right move for Cleveland's defense? Bush was never the star many expected when the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted him 10th overall in 2019. His rookie season was electrifying, 109 tackles, 4 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions, but after that, injuries and inconsistent play slowed him down. Pittsburgh declined his 5th-year option, and he spent 1 season in Seattle before coming to Cleveland on a tryout deal. And guess what? He proved enough to stay. In 2024, Bush recorded 76 tackles, 3 pass deflections, 1 sack, and 9.5 tackles for loss. He was 4th on the team in total tackles and provided much-needed depth at linebacker. Is he a game-changer? No. But is he a reliable veteran who understands Jim Schwartz's system? Absolutely. And that's why Cleveland is keeping him around. But Bush isn't the only linebacker Cleveland has locked up. The Browns also signed free agent Joe Tryon-Shoyinka to a 1-year deal. The former Tampa Bay Buccaneer has shown flashes of potential, but he never fully broke out in Tampa's system. Maybe a change of scenery and a role in Schwartz's aggressive defense will help him reach another level. The Browns clearly think so, and at the very least, he adds depth to the linebacker group. So, what does this mean for the Browns' defense heading into 2025? First, it shows that the team values continuity. They're bringing back players who know the system and can contribute without breaking the bank. Second, it highlights a smart financial strategy. Bush's deal isn't huge, and if he plays well, it's a steal. If not, the Browns can move on without major consequences. One big question still looms: what about Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah? The Pro Bowl linebacker is still recovering from a neck injury, and the Browns haven't provided a clear update on his status. If he can return healthy, this linebacker unit could be a real strength for Cleveland next season. If not, Bush and Tryon-Shoyinka will need to step up in a big way. Overall, this is a solid move, nothing flashy, but a necessary step to keep the defense strong. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you like the decision to bring back Devin Bush? Do you think he can take another step forward in 2025? And how do you feel about the addition of Joe Tryon-Shoyinka? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now, we have some major changes to talk about. The Cleveland Browns have been busy this offseason, making critical decisions to shape their roster for 2025. And let's be honest, we knew this was coming. With over 24 free agents to deal with, we expected some action. But what we didn't see coming? A major overhaul at quarterback. Yes, you heard that right. Kenny Pickett is now a Cleveland Brown. In exchange for QB Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR, and a 2025 fifth-round draft pick, the Browns brought in Pickett to compete for a role. And let's just say the opinions are already flying in all directions. Now, let's break this down. We all know the Browns' QB situation has been a roller coaster ride. Last season, Cleveland set an NFL record for most starting quarterbacks used in consecutive seasons, 9. And with Deshaun Watson still recovering from an Achilles injury, his availability for the start of 2025 is uncertain. Some reports even suggest he might not play at all this year. That left DTR as the only quarterback on the roster. Until now. So, what does Pickett bring to the table? Let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Back in 2022, the Steelers selected him 20th overall in the first round of the NFL Draft. He came out of Pitt with an impressive college resume, ACC Player of the Year, first-team All-American, and a finalist for just about every major quarterback award. In his senior season, he threw 42 touchdowns with a 67.2% completion rate. Not too shabby, right? But once he hit the NFL, things got complicated. His rookie year? Rough. He was thrown into action in Week 4, replacing Mitchell Trubisky, and immediately tossed 3 interceptions. The growing pains continued as he finished his first season with just 7 touchdowns and 9 picks. Concussions, injuries, and inconsistency followed him into year 2. By the time the 2024 offseason rolled around, the Steelers had seen enough and signed Russell Wilson, leading Pickett to request a trade. Pittsburgh wasted no time, shipping him to Philadelphia for a mix of mid to late round picks. Now, here's where things get interesting. Pickett spent last season backing up Jalen Hurts, but the Eagles coaching staff reportedly liked what they saw from him in practice. And hey, let's not forget, he did take the final snaps in both the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. That's experience you can't buy. So, how does this trade affect the Browns? Well, for starters, Pickett immediately jumps into the QB1 conversation. He's got 25 NFL starts under his belt, which is a huge step up from where DTR was. When called upon in Philly, he managed a solid 62.4% completion rate, better than most backup QBs floating around free agency. But let's be real, he's not a superstar. He's a game manager. He won't give you 400-yard games with 30-point shootouts, but he can keep the offense moving if he's got a solid O-line and a strong running game. And that's where the Browns need to focus next. Protecting Pickett, or whoever starts, has to be a priority. The offensive line needs work, and the running back situation is still a question mark. If Cleveland wants to put Pickett in the best position to succeed, they need to address these issues fast. But here's the kicker, this might not be the Browns' final move at QB. Andrew Berry could still bring in another veteran. Aaron Rodgers? Not rumored to the Browns, but hey, neither was Pickett. Joe Flacco? A fan favorite. Kirk Cousins? Maybe the Falcons still want to move him. Russell Wilson? Still available. Or maybe Berry is eyeing someone in the draft. If the Browns use their first-round pick on a quarterback like Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, suddenly Pickett's job isn't so secure. And let's talk about the pressure that comes with this move. Pickett isn't just stepping into any role, he's joining a team that's desperately trying to find consistency in under center. The Browns have built a solid defense, and they have weapons on offense. But without a reliable QB, none of that matters. So, is Pickett that guy? Or is he just a stopgap while Cleveland figures out their long-term plan? Let's also consider how this trade shakes up the division. The Steelers moved on from Pickett, and now he's back in the AFC North. That's going to add some extra fuel to those rivalry games. Can you imagine the reaction in Pittsburgh when Pickett takes the field against them in a Browns uniform? The pressure, the drama, it's all going to be must-watch football. And what about Watson? If he does return this season, what does that mean for Pickett? Is he just a placeholder until Watson is ready? Or does Cleveland want to see if Pickett can develop into their long-term answer? That's a lot of uncertainty surrounding the most important position on the team. One thing's for sure, this move has changed the Browns' offseason in a big way. Whether it's for better or worse remains to be seen. But as of now, the Browns' quarterback room looks completely different than it did just a few weeks ago. So, Browns fans, what do you think? Is Pickett the answer? Should the Browns go all in on him, or is this just a temporary fix while they search for their true QB of the future? Leave your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay in the know daily. Go Browns!